All right, class. Now we're at the last part of our research paper. We've chosen a topic that's been approved. We've developed an outline that's been approved. And now we're doing our research. Again, I would encourage you to use your outline as your guide to research. So I wouldn't just do, hours and hours of research on the topic as a broad thing. With your outline, you should have more of a targeted area that you want to research. You can always go back and change your outline if you find that, there's just not enough information to even support it in the paper. That's fine, you can do that. But use that outline as your guide. So, not typical, but some mistakes that I've seen students make with their research paper, probably the one that's most prevalent is they don't use peer-reviewed sources. So it's okay to add sources to it, although I wouldn't encourage you to use like the National Enquirer or something like that. But you need to have 4 peer-reviewed sources. One is going to be your text, and the other ones are going to be from the NPC search engines, like EBSCOhost. You can use Google Scholar, although I don't like to use them because they want to charge me for research papers, and I wouldn't want to do that. EBSCOhost should be sufficient. If you have trouble accessing it, it's kind of hard to show you in a video clip, but the librarian should be able to direct you and guide you in that research to be able to access that information. There's also a learning, it's not a learning center anymore, they don't call it that, but there is some tutoring that's available at the campuses as well as online. There's tutoring that's available, so you can get some direction from there. Key thing is peer-reviewed sources, and so those are things that are going to be coming from journals, like Journal of Gerontology, Journal of Counseling and Counseling, a Journal of Psychology. There's a whole host of journals that are out there that are in EBSCOhost that you can use for your peer-reviewed sources. So they've got to have at least 4 of them. You can add other sites if you want to look at a web page, you can do that, but they won't be counted as your 4 peer-reviewed sources. And so that's often one thing that I find with students that ends up lowering their grade. So when I look at a research paper, these are the basic components. I kind of triage it, right? Is it 10 pages long? Does it have 4 peer-reviewed sources? One includes your text. Is there a critical review? If it has those components, it goes in the A stack. If it lacks something, it goes in the B stack. If it lacks 2 things, so on and so on. So again, we've got 10 pages, 4 peer-reviewed sources, critical review. Those are the major things. An abstract is not required for your research paper. It's like 120 to 150 word Reader's Digest version of what your research paper is about. Some students add it, but it won't be counted as part of your 10 pages. So it's not required for you. Papers have to be biggest thing, papers have to be in APA format. That's one of the things I look at when I triage it. It's not an APA format, it's going to go in the B stack, and so on. So I kind of got to bring things on down. Occasionally, papers are written so well that I'll bring it from a B to the A stack, but that happens pretty rarely. It's more likely that I'll see an A paper has got all those criteria, but just really didn't address the question completely, and so it will go down to a B stack. One thing that I don't want you to ever worry about is my opinion. Don't worry about whether you think I agree or disagree with you. That's not what's really important. I want to make sure that your research paper is balanced. So if it's pros, you've got the cons, an equal amount on both sides of them. If it's comparing and contrasting 2 theorists, there's an equal amount of research for both those theorists. That's really what I look for. Not whether I agree or disagree with you, so I hate for you to have to worry about that. Let's see, what else about the research paper? 10 pages, we talked about that. Critical review is another thing that I find lacking. A critical review should be at least 1 page in length. 1 page in length. And that is your own thoughts. I want to know what you think. Having done the research, did it agree with what your preconceptions were or presuppositions were before you started the research? Or, is it changed your mind completely from the way you began? Other thing is that the reference page. So your reference page, I'm only going to accept 1 page in length. Sometimes I'll have students do 2 pages of reference pages, and they think, well, that should suffice for my 10 pages. But I'm only going to accept 1 page as far as your references are concerned as part of your research paper. You can have 2 pages, you can have 3 pages, that's fine. But only 1 page is going to be accepted as part of that 10-page research paper. And I think that's the major instructions. Again, the librarian can help you with EBSCOhost. We've got tutor.com that can help you with EBSCOhost. We have tutors in the library that can also help you with EBSCOhost or doing your research. There's also JSTOR, which is another source. Again, I mentioned Google Scholar, but they always want to charge me, and I'm just too cheap to pay for anything, so wouldn't encourage you to do that. Last thing that's really important. When you do your research, bring a USB drive to the library. You can do it from home, but I find it's more cumbersome. There's a password you have to get, and it's just not quite as user-friendly as if you came into the library. Make sure you bring your USB drive. So what I do is when I'm doing my research, I'm not going to read the whole research paper. I don't have time for that. I'm going to read the abstract and say, yeah, I think that's something that will work. And I'm going to just copy and paste it to my USB drive. So I might have 50 research papers that I've copied and pasted, and it's maybe taken me an hour, maybe 2 hours, but I'm not going to really look at it until I get home. So then I'm going to spend time looking at each of those articles, and then I'll decide, yeah, I don't need this one, don't need that one. This one is a good one, so I'm going to keep it. And sometimes when you find those perfect articles, you'll find references to other articles that can help support your debate. And so you can use that, go back to EBSCOhost and try to find that particular article. That's many ways. One of many ways of how to do research. So hopefully this helps you a bit, guys. Can't think of anything else that I would want to say except thank you for your hard work on it. It is a lot of work, but it's well worth it, especially if you pick a topic that you find compelling and interesting. So again, thank you for your work. If you have any questions, you can always text me, Google message me, or call my cell phone. Be glad to answer any questions that you guys have got. Thank you very much, guys, for your hard work.